In this demo, we're going to take a look at some basic Git functions. The Git init function, the Git status function, Git add, and Git commit. Essentially what we're going to do is create a Git repo folder and then create a project folder inside. And then we'll add some files to that project, add those files to the staging area, and then commit those files to the repo. So let's do it. I'm Antoine, and this is ProDataManTrains. Okay, so like I said, we're going to take a look at some basic Git functions. First, we're going to create a couple of files in a folder. We'll turn that folder into a Git repo using the Git init function, and then we will go ahead and commit those files to the repo. But before we do any of that, let's get into our virtual machine here. On the screen. So here is our virtual machine. Already got a terminal up and running here. So in my terminal, I was just taking a look at my Git repos folder. And I'm going to make a directory called stack app. Or stack utility, let's call it that. Then I go into my stack utility folder. Fat fingered it. Less typing, less typos. Programmer's rule number one. All right, so if we look in our brand new stack utility folder, you can see that there is nothing in this folder. All right, no problem. Right now, we're going to check and see. First, let's check and see what version of Git we're running. We've got Git version 2.25.1. So that's our Git version. Now we can check our Git status, and we can see that this directory currently is not a Git repository. So let's do a Git init. Initialized empty Git repository in the current folder. Now if we do a Git status, out the fat fingerings there, we can see that we are in a Git repository on branch master. There are no commits yet, and there's nothing to commit. There are no files here. So why don't we have a little fun? Let's go ahead and launch Eclipse. You know what? Let's not. We'll save that for another demo. I was going to go into Eclipse and create a couple of Java files, but in the interest of simplicity, let us simply stay in the command window here, and we'll create just a regular old text file. Any day now. There we go. My virtual machine is running a little slow here. Come on. There we go, finally. Okay, so we are going to create a file. And the file that we're going to create is going to be called, let's just go ahead and create the stack class. There we go. That'll do for now. And we will save our file. Verify that our file is there. And now we'll check Git status. At this point, we have our new file, stack.java, that is untracked, meaning that it is not in the staging area. So what we could do is add that file with a git add and add that specific file name, stack.java, or we could simply tell it to add all of the files that we just created in this current directory. We only created one file, but imagine, if you will, we had 15 files. It would be no fun at all to add those files as a comma separated list, so we can simply do git add dot, which will add all of the files in the current directory. Less typing, less typos. All right, so now if we do a git status, we should see that our one new file, stack.java, has been added to our staging area. So now we can go ahead and commit that file from our staging area into the repo. We're going to do that with a git commit. And we'll use the -m switch to add the commit message. In this case, that commit message is going to be created stack class. And go. And now it tells us that the master had a root commit where we created the stack class. One file was changed, 3 insertions, and create mode. And then we have a identifier there and the stack file that we just created. If we do a git status one more time, we can see that there is nothing to commit. The working tree is clean. And for now, that concludes our demo. Some basic Git functions so that the next demos will make sense. We're going to continue on in the next demo with adding some actual Java project or Maven project files using Eclipse to this same repo, at which point we'll connect this repo to a GitHub remote repository. So stay tuned for that. To make sure you see that video when it comes out, go ahead and smash that like button and hit the subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when that next video comes out. Thanks for watching. I'm Antoine Victor, and this is ProDataManTrains. We'll see you on the next one.